Mm. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you receive this. Now, I did have an agenda in my head. It just seemed to slipped away. But we will march on. That's what we will do. We will march on. Um, yeah. So welcome. Um, it's like it was so good. It was so good. I just had, but I thought, okay, no, I got to get on. I gotta say this before before I forget. And then as I got on here, I forgot. Um, so much is coming in for us. So much is unwielding before our very eyes. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Char. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Whoopsie. There we go. I came back. Whoopsie. Sorry about that. Um, there's so much like wielding, like things that are just coming out before us and rapidly, rapidly. I it's funny. Uh the crunches that people are starting to feel are really slowly squeezing in. Now, when the moon's in Pisces and sun is in Gemini, that's or even if it's in Sag, it's just like, this is just crazy. It's kind of like trying to stand up on a slip and slide and someone's sliding down. And you're trying to stand up. It can get kind of crazy and slippery and um just looking at people, and you'd be just like, what the fuck? Like, why are they doing that? So you could good morning, Declan. You could, people will do things that just are like, I I don't get it. Um, it is kind of like a wow. And then we have that the sun, Jupiter, Venus, all in Gemini, and the Venus is being, getting closer to the conjunction of the sun and, burning off as she descends into the underworld. And this feeling that I'm having is definitely clearing, like wanting to clear away. It's like a constant clearing of the old negativity, clearing out onto our, just allowing for things to clear, um, and not sort of get stuck back into the tarmac of our old thoughts, our old ways. It is a constant clearing and a constant cutting away and moving forward, and it's exhausting. Oh my god, it's fucking exhausting. Going into the grocery store, I went in for milk, but of course, it wasn't just milk. I needed to buy cat food, need to get some dog food, find some kind of dog food that my dog will eat because, whatever. Um, it was just, just doing those little things, I mean, are taxing because it's like you only have so much, and then you have to pay everything else. And you guys all know the juggle. Y'all have the juggle. It's the taxing, that feeling, that overwhelmness. And it's just like I came out and I'm just like, what the hell did I just buy? And I know y'all have that too. Like, what the hell did I just buy? And I understand, how I tell everybody to stock up and everything, but still, there's things that you need. There's things that you need to stock up on or go and buy or you run out of. I don't have a cow in the back, so I can't go milk Bessie. I don't have chickens. And even if you do have those, right? Even if you do have those, I mean, it was $80. It wasn't fucking a lot. Even if you do have those, the cost of keeping them. Like, I told one of my girlfriends who does have chickens, right? And I said, a flat of eggs just went up to $13. And she couldn't she goes, "That's," she goes, "For her, just doing her chicken having her chickens and feeding them," um, and she feeds them well. it costs her more money than that to do that, you know? So even if you could go buy eggs from the farmer, and I know some people are like, "Well, I get my eggs from the farmer and they're such and such." That's a rare farmer. They're not charging you the whole price and they're losing out, like, honestly, if you're getting your eggs cheap from a farm, because it costs them a lot of money to keep those animals. And that's it, it's that pressure that keeps coming in. And where Uranus is and coming in and where he's going to be hitting up onto Elgo, I mean, that's Elgo's not really a nice star. It's a demon star. It's a star of beheading. It's a star of, you know, of alcohol. There's a lot and it's getting close to it. And with Mercury heading there, and wanting to get the information, wanting to get, what are our next moves? What is it that we need to do? How can we get forward? I need to pass this message on. And it's that woundedness, it's that warrior that comes in with Mars, with Chiron. And the wounded warrior is, the wounded warrior, this is how I get the Mars and the wounded warrior. It's a hockey player. Now, no offense to anybody else or any other sports, but when you play hockey and you get in, like most hockey players, they will play through their injury. They don't whine and cry and, "Whoo, I got hurt." They get up and they continue on. Same with football players. On average, they get up and they continue on. And that's where the wounded warrior is. It's continuing to continue on. It's the one, not literally, I'm not gonna, literally, but the one that gets, say, the arrow in the arm. It's not calling for the medic. It's saying, let's charge on. Let's carry on. That's what we have to do. And that's what we're doing. We are the wounded warriors. We are the wounded warriors that are having to carry on. We cannot we can't stop, as much as we want to. Like today, it just felt so defeating going into the grocery store because I have other things that I have to do and everything else, like everybody else. But it was just like, holy shit. And then some other shit that happened, of course. My life is never an easy road. So now it's come to a point where when I go to Vermilion, I'm driving up to Vermilion on Saturday morning, leaving early Saturday morning, going to the market, and then coming home after the market. It's a 5-hour drive there and a 5-hour drive back, and then doing the market from 10 to 4. That's what I'm doing. And that's because just circumstances just came in and just like, holy shit. Well, I cannot not do that. And with other things in my, just can't, I had those things had to get done. Um, so anyways, it's just like, okay, now I have to put my faith and trust and allow for the cray to disperse and just trust in the divine and the Holy Spirit, because there must be a reason why I have to do this. The feeling of overwhelmness, and I'm looking at the energies, the feeling of overwhelmness is like, holy crap, and then as I'm doing a meditation this morning, and it just brought tears to my eyes, feeling, of course, what I'm going through and allowing and doing my, the healing and bringing in the Ho'oponopono, bringing in my Shokare, bringing in my Sahiki, and allowing for this healing to happen. I could feel the pain that others are going through, the pain that others are, like the homeless, and not all the homeless people are drug addicts and mentally ill. These are homeless people that I could feel are like families. And this started quite a number of years ago because we have a come in from the cold tonight, right? And just feeling the tragedy that's out there and the helplessness, like, the helplessness that you feel when you're receiving this information. I think this is Inside Out. It is Inside Out, whatever. I'm wearing my shirt inside out. Didn't notice until I got on here, but feeling that hopelessness of what can I do when I myself is going through, the drama and stuff. And and then thinking of, holy shit, this is like so much, the crazy shit that's coming in. It's not the crazy shit of the Middle East. Like that's nothing. That's nothing. That Ukraine thing with Gaza, whatever, is nothing. It's like, holy shit. It's the what's going with Israel. It's the Ukraine. It's that Ukraine, and I can feel it, and I'm just like, wow. And the ones that are going in there are the US, France, and Germany. And I'm like, okay, the Ukraine is known to have Nazis. We got Germany going in there. Germany's already sent some stuff in there. It's just like there's something detrimentally wrong with this scenario because Germany wants to invade Russia. How did that go the last few times you tried to invade Russia? Just said, I'm not a Putin fan. I'm not, but this is where it's like, how much, like this is a world power. This is a world power. And this is where, and I've got Uranus is coming on Elgo. We got a wounded warrior coming in. We have this energy. And I mean, yeah, Uranus is not going to go retrograde until the end of August. But it's like the pressures, the is this craziness that's coming in. And the planets right now are on this one area, one side of the chart, and they're in 180 degrees, right? So they're in this, and the moons just went in there. So we got this tight, like almost like, when you're trying to wring out a cloth and you're just squeezing it, and you're trying to wring out all of the as much of the juice as you can, or the whatever's in there, the dampness out. That's what it's really feeling. It's like all of this coming in and really feeling that tightness. And the one planet that isn't in there is Pluto. And Pluto kind of gives us a little bit of a, okay, we can do this. But this is where it's like, no, you got to go in your own reserves. You got to go in and start looking at what is it that I can start doing, because this is getting, for a lot of people, this is getting scary. This is getting heavy. And as we get through and we're entering into June, and we're going through this, Gemini's trying to get the clarity here. That's what Gemini's trying to do. Gemini's trying to really get us to get the clarity, the simplicity, to break it off before we hit July. July, August, July, August, September is going to be a very explosive summer. It's going to be a summer that's going to be radioactive. And that's the energy that they show me. It's going to be radioactive. And this radioactive energy coming in July, August, September, where people are going to feel like the feelings are going to really come to the surface even more. The feelings of unrest, the feelings of uncertainty, the feelings of almost hopelessness are there. And this is where right now, being it in clown town and sloppy and crazy, it's where we have to really look at and the negative clearing. What is it that we need to clear? And it's going to be a constant thing that we're going to have to start doing on a daily basis. So I'm calling all my spiritual warriors that you have to do your healing every single day. If you are a level 1 Reiki, level 2 masters, whatever, or if you're just an energy healer, it's starting to clear your energy each and every day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. I did some healing, self-healing yesterday, but didn't do it fully. And it's funny. It was like, all right, This morning I was doing the full clearing and getting the clearing done with my music and everything else. And I'm blessed. I'm able to do that right now. I can do that. I know not everybody can, but if you have to go to the bathroom, as you're sitting there pooping, you're clearing, clear some more. You're peeing, clear some more, let it out. You know, it's important because that sledge, that part that is there that pulls us back, that tarmac that sticks to us. This is where things are coming to, the extremes. And we're going to be getting these extreme insights, and these extreme insights, especially with Uranus and Mercury, they haven't met here since 1940. In 1940, that was when Germany was invading France. France. And France is on gun ho with Germany right now. We've got an Olympics that's coming up. It's where we are going to be, where extreme insights are going to come in, and where the old crusty stuff is going to, phase out. It's going to move away. But the thing is that sometimes we think that we can rehydrate the old crusty. We think we can, oh, let's save it because, I got to save this, kind of thing. So it's the old crusties that we think that we can save. And so this is where it's like, nope, this is where it's part of that ego that needs to go away. Yet we're going to find that we're wanting to hang on to it. So this is where the warrior test comes in. The warrior test is, it's strong. It's strong. And as we are going to be moving in and moving towards a new moon in Gemini, it's very overwhelming. It is very frustrating. It's very much a clown town. It's very much where you're just like, what the fuck kind of thing. And just even watching some of the fucked up shit that's happening, it's like, this is where my mind fuck goes, right? Okay, you got homeless people, right? Okay, cool. City doesn't want homeless people anymore, so we're going to ticket those homeless people and move them out. Okay, where are you moving them? Why are you ticketing them? Because if they are, drug or mentally ill, how are they going to pay for it? What is that going to do? Right? There's a system I think it's in Sweden and Finland, where for the homelessness, where they actually made them accountable, like to get them help, the help that they actually needed, whether it is, rehabilitation, um, and where it's, for mental illness, to get the help that they need, really holding the people accountable. And not just saying, here, you owe us $100 now. Well, that's just setting more mental illness on top of the mental illness, on top of the stress and the anxiety and everything that everybody has, thinking that's going to cure it. I'm going to just I the tragedy, like, and I watched this with Venice Beach, and what happened during the pandemic, and how many homeless people were just camping out on the beach. And yeah, it's nasty, it's dirty, and it stinks because no guidelines are put in. Billions of dollars are being donated, but no guidelines are being put on it, on what they can do and where they can go. Then all of a sudden, we're cleaning it up. You're not allowed to be here anymore. Just think of how that feels, that everything that you possibly own is gone. They just throw it into the big green dumpster eater machine and it's gone. Well, that's just adding more drama. And I just, like, I'm watching, like, just all of this craziness. And then it came across my feed, and it must have been an old one, where here in Calgary, this one woman, she's a head of some homeless or some Feed the Poor foundation. This bitch earns $200,000 a year for sitting on the board. And she's at this gala to raise money. in a dress that costs probably $5,000 fucking plus. And I'm like, and they're crediting her, oh, she's a mom of two and she's just, no, she has a fucking nanny earning $200,000 sitting on the board. And I could take you to places downtown right now where, yeah, it's you just like, what? Can I have that job? Maybe I could probably do it better. I certainly wouldn't be spending $5,000 on a dress. I'd probably show up in my Birkenstocks and some boho outfit and a bottle of wine. But you know, this is where the corruption, and this is where that pressure, that excess that we are seeing, that we are getting fed up with, right? Just like the United Way people who are the heck needs are for a driver and a person who earns more than $1 million. Exactly. Exactly. Like, it just boggles my fucking mind. And the thing is, they money gets donated because you're thinking it's going to somewhere, it's going to somewhere fabulous. It's like, yeah, the mustard seed is doing money, but they're earning mustard seed. They're not poor. They're now earning some good. Their revenue is good. They're publicly funded, so they have to show where the money goes. Most of it, I think, so you can see where it goes. And they do some training and stuff like that. But it's still and some, and they do have housing and everything else. I understand. This is where people are like, well, I don't want the laws. I don't want to be told what to do. And this is another mind fuck. It's like, no, we're not. You're already being told what to do. You're already caught in a loop that's being dictated to you. And sometimes it's like, well, I got freedom to do what you want. Well, not really, because one, you have to worry about where's your next meal coming? Where's your next joint coming? How are you going to get that money? You're not free. You're caught in a loop. Where are you going to sleep? Where are you going to take a poop? Right? Like, what are you going to use to wipe your bum? These are things that, okay, if you're homeless, you got to think about, right? It's a constant of thinking about, okay, oh, I need water, oh, I need this, oh, is somebody going to attack me? Are you not already in a construct, but they don't see it? They think putting you into a rehabilitation center where it's like, okay, yeah, no, we're giving you rules. We're giving you rules so that you are now becoming accountable. When you become accountable, when you become that person that is accountable for yourself and for what you do and what you say and how you say it and how you hold yourself, that's freedom. That's freedom. When you are standing in your truth and your strength, that's freedom. When you're coming into your peace and you're constantly doing the clearing, yeah, it's not easy. The shit that's coming up, and my fears and my overwhelmness that's coming in because of past experiences that come in, and you're just like, "Ah," you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And you're just like, calm down. Take a sip of coffee. You're gonna be fine. You know? You get those frustrations, right? You get them. And it's just like, okay, no, I got to clear them up. I got to give them to the Holy Spirit. I got to ask for the guidance. I got to ask for just for today. Just for today. I got to bring in that just for today. I have to be, I'm going to give my trust over to God. Just for today, I'm going to be able to do what I can do. Just for today, I'm not going to anger. Just for today, I'm going to do what I need to do as honest as with honesty and with trust and love that all will work out just for today. We're not asking for tomorrow. We're not asking for what happened yesterday. We're asking for today. Today, that's the now. It's when we get caught up in all the other stuff, and then we can do the clearing. Then we can think more clearly. Then we can bring in and say, you know what? I may not be able to help all those homeless people. I may not be able to help, the people that can do it because I'm struggling just as much in different ways, but I can pray. I can send out the Ho'oponopono, Ho'oponopono, Ho'oponopono. Send out those loving rays of light. And the ones that are doing, the angels that are able to do the help, to do the volunteer, to be there, sending them extra blessings. Asking for the guidance of the light of the Holy Spirit to come forth and be with them. And that in time, hopefully I can do the same and help where I can help. This is where where we're at, and and where we are feeling plagued so much and so heavily right now in our lives. We're feeling that plagueness of the corruption, of the uncertainty, of feeling like we are in the unease and feeling the overwhelmness. And it's so important. And it's so important that you honor that and don't dismiss it. Too many of beautiful, other spiritual people and teachers or whatever, it's like almost where it's like, yeah, we know what's going on. We understand what's going on, but they're not fucking talking about it. They're not saying anything. There's only a few of them, a few ones that I know of that are actually saying, yeah, this is the shit that's going on. They're talking about, bringing in some new law in the UK if Rishi Sunak gets back in, but that's just for the chess game political bullshit because he knows he's not going to get in, but he knows that the next ones that get in are going to be bringing that in, and they're going to say, see, I told you that's what we were going to do, and throwing our children to the slaughter. And this is where it's like, again, we got to, that prayer, that standing up, doing what it is that we are able to do. I saw a post the other day too, and it was like, it said, well, I'm not going to vote in the next election because for whatever reason, I think it's because she's a native First Nations. And I'm just like, wow. And I had to think about that. I really had to think, it's like, well, no, there's nobody there representing me. Nobody there, who hears our voice. It's all a bunch of bullshit. How do we change things if we don't if everybody in Canada doesn't vote? What then? What does that show? Okay. If everybody doesn't vote, if we all band together and say, fuck this, you guys go fuck yourself. We're not going to vote. We're not going to pay our taxes anymore. We're not going to give you any more money. We're going to change things. I mean, actually, that'd be fucking awesome if we did that. We're going to start looking at how we want you to make the changes because you're the ones who work for us. That would be awesome. In reality, that won't happen. Because it's just there's too many, like we've seen in the pandemic, how many people ran for the elixir, and whatever excuses they had, they did whatever. God bless them. I know. Yet, if you don't, and I'm just thinking, if you don't take that right to do what it is that you need to do, and this is where it comes in that it's so important to get involved, because if you don't, then the people that you don't like are going to be the same people that are going to stay in power. So the thing is that you have to get involved in some way. As I've been saying, get involved in some way. Find out who's your MP. Find out, who's your local councilman in your area. And find out, why they voted for certain things and ask them. So this is where it's like, oh my God, that's just too much time. I don't have time to do that. But we're going to find that things are going to start getting a little bit crazier, right? When it all falls down. Yeah. And it's it's funny because our council meetings are at 9 a.m. in the morning. So there's not a lot of people that can make it for 9 a.m. Either they're off, they're going to work on average, people are going to work, or, and then it's to find a fucking parking spot downtown because we don't get, private parking spot. Uh, and then you got to pay $25 or $30 or whatever it is for your fucking parking spot. Um, it's just this causes a lot to park downtown. But I mean, there could be other ways. So it's like finding out who your local council person is. It's just finding out maybe who's doing the local gardening. Maybe that's your thing. Who's the local, there's local gardens here, and I know there's a wait list and stuff like that, but who's on the board, who's on, who does that? How can we be more involved, or how can we be more involved in our own little community, right? We're not find a group of people, like set up a plan where everybody can carpool and shit like that. So then you guys can get to these meetings. Yes. Yeah. That's the other thing. Yeah. Or you could take the bus. I mean, you could you could take our bus. Take your life in your hand to take the LRT downtown. But you can. You can do that as well. But definitely to carpool, find people, a group of people. Just to sit in. I mean, there's just so much that they're doing, like the vote that they did for the blanket rezoning, like just a blanket rezoning. And I drive all over the city, either dropping my son off for work, and I'm just like, holy shit, they're knocking down all these houses and they're putting in an apartment here. And these are like nice neighborhoods, they're not, they're not forest lawn, but but they're knocking all these, older homes, and they're not older homes. I don't think they're that old. They're like maybe 60 years old, some of these homes. I guess that's old for a home, but I mean they still have the bones to them. They're still very good homes, but unfortunately um the land, they're getting money for them. And but it's going back to everything else. This is where everybody's feeling, the overwhelmness and the crunch of it all. And this going into, what is it, this summer, and then all the way into 2025. I mean, in a year from now, we're going to be hitting some, in May and June of next year, we're going to be hitting some really critical degrees of energies that are going to escalate to something far worse than what we're facing right now. Even when I'm talking with a younger generation, 20s at work, they are not interested in owning a home. They want a Canada and would rather pay fees so that someone else can take care of the yard. Yeah, it's unfortunate. They need the room to make apartments. Yeah, to make apartments. Yes, they're not low income housing that they're building. They're not building it for the people that need it. Like, they're not building it for the people. They're building these places, and an average price of a 3-bedroom upper floor house with 2 bathrooms is anywhere between $22 to $3,000. That's the upper level. That's not the whole house. That's the upper level of a home. Average price for a 1-bedroom apartment or even a 2-bedroom apartment can be about $2,000, you know? That's what the prices are. Um, if you go in with, and this is where it's like, same what they do in New York, is that you got like 5 people renting a 2-bedroom apartment because everybody's pitching in, right? And then you have, 4 roommates that you have to put up with their smelliness and everything else. And just yeah, there's no privacy, definitely. But I mean, it's not the first time that our society has done shit like that, you know, the work encampments and stuff like that, what they did and how Manchester was built, how they, when they were bringing over people after World War II and just, bringing them all into New York and Toronto and, different areas there and bringing in the work camps for people and the orphan trains, right? Think sometimes we were spoiled in being able to have our own space, but I like my own space. Yeah, and you're very honored to have your own space. If you have your space and just love it, just do and keep what it is. But what they're trying to do, part of the greater plan is like you have your beautiful home and you have everything. Next thing you know, rezoning or whatever they're doing. Next thing you know, you got a 45 or 75 unit apartment beside you, right? And you've lost your privacy. You've lost what it is that you thought you had. And then another one went up. Um, and it's funny because I saw that, and I just saw that just, and it's funny how fast these little houses can go up, and these townhouses or these side by sides can go up. And there was one over here by us, and it's a duplex that went up for sale. It had a condition of sale on it, but it still had the information on the for sale sign. So I went and I just looked at it for that home, and it wasn't anything. It was nice. It was okay. Was $975,000, and or just say 900. Say let's say $980,000 asking price. That's the asking price. Okay, so that doesn't include the taxes, that doesn't include your lawyer fees or whatever else. So we're looking at $1 million for a duplex. Taxes every year in that, we'll say in this area is anywhere between $6 and $7,000 a year. And that's the taxes in my area. So then you have somebody who's basically maybe paid their house off, but they still have to put away $600 a month. you know, um, and then pay their utilities and everything else, whatever else is on top of that, your water and, the usual stuff, your groceries and things along that line. And it adds up. It's that's where when I was doing the meditation and the things that I saw, and I could see how they're, you know, as they step into actual Russia, as the boots on the ground steps into Russia, which will probably be in July or maybe August. I'm going to go for July. That's when shit's really going to hit the fan. That's when things are really going to start cranking up and things are going to start getting cranky. And this is where it's like, okay, I need to really have a sense of who I am and have to find that sense of who I am. I have to allow for whatever needs to burn away to burn away. I have to allow for things to mutate into good energy because we have this mutable energy of Gemini and of the moon being in Pisces. So it's mutable. And this is where it's not like fixed sign, where a fixed sign is like, yeah, the good things are happening, but fixed sign will like, but look at all this shit that just happened. Um, Fixed signs just sort of get stuck, right? They can get really stuck. So this is a chance for getting unstuck, of allowing for yourself to go forth into the positivity, and mutate this into positive, mutate this more into light, mutate this more into love, mutate this into what I need to do. As and in doing this, this is where the moment, this is going to be by moment. And as doing, as long as you are doing it, you're the warrior. As long as you're doing it moment by moment, living, and that's the way that we are going to be having to do from this day forward. I'm not saying that we haven't done it before, but this is becoming where we are coming to critical points, critical um exchanges. Venus is burning off and going into the underworld and moving to the other side of the sun. And this is where it's like, okay, we need to step in to the, into the new mutations, into the newness, and allow for our light to come forth. And it's going to take, it's going to sometimes take our full mental capacity, because we have to understand that life is joyful. Life is easy, right? Money just shows up. These are sort of the mantras, and our mind will say, life isn't easy, life is hard. I look at my life, I got examples of why it's hard. Here it is. Here it is. Money come easy. What do you mean? I gotta hustle my fucking ass every day in order to get what that I need. But the thing is that so much has been telling us that we are not powerful, and that's where all the sludge is, where things have been told that we're not powerful. When we go on YouTube, when we go on TikTok, and they well, we're in assimilations, and we're in blah, 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 and the moon is not real, and the earth is flat, and they got all of this stuff happening. Like, fuck off. Like, push that away. May be true, may not be true. Yes, shit's happening in Ukraine, whatever. We're going to push it away, and we're going to bring forth that beauty. We're going to bring forth that light and allow for it. And just allow, when we're allowing that to come in, that vibration, just allowing for that vibration. And we're holding the vibration. We're holding the light. We're holding the power. We're holding the beauty. Okay, let me go and do what I need to do. Oh, I got to go back. I got to come back into that center. Sometimes it's going to take us a couple times, but if we can start doing it on a regular basis, then you're spreading that light. And then when you show up at work or you show up at something else, people are like, "Whoo, what's going on? What are you doing? You look different. What are you doing different?" Nothing. Oh, I'm just being happy. Being happy. Why are you being happy? What's there to be happy about? I just love doing what I'm doing. Why do you love doing what you're doing? Because I like to be happy. It's that mind fuck that we have to get ourselves through, and allow for the old crustiness to go away. And that's not pliable anymore. It's not working for us anymore. It's not there for us anymore. And we have to release it. Release it and allow for the inner peace and the guidance to come in. Yes. So next Monday, the astrology club starts for June. If you're wanting to join me to learn more about astrology, to learn more about the planets, giving you an understanding of the energies and the transformations of the energies that are coming in, and how to work with them, right? And how to work with them. I'm asked on a regular basis what kind of drugs I'm on. You know what? Lisa say, I'm on the drugs of the mama guru. Just kidding. I'm on the drugs. The drug of life. I'm on the drug of life. Life, baby. Life, baby. I have a friend who Steve Gates, and he was always, he didn't do drugs or alcohol. Like, he was just always like, let's get hyper. Like, he was just a spaz, like just total fucking spaz. I think he's a Sagittarius. That makes sense. But a total spaz to do things and stuff, and always wanted to do crazy things. And let's go build a fire down on the beach and drink Mountain Dew. Okay, we got to find Mountain Dew. We got to go find firewood. And somebody asked me, well, what kind of drugs is he on? I'm like, he's not on any drugs. That's just the way he is. He's just loving life. He likes to do some weird ass shit and have fun and enjoy it. And, and now he's a dad with 4 kids. So, but that's the thing. It's like, just, coming in and loving life. Yeah, there is some craziness that's happening, but we got to step into that beauty. And we got to, ho'oponopono, right? Because we do have choices, but sometimes the choices seem like, oh shit, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm going to trust in the divine that it's all going to work out. God is guiding me. God is being. I saw a thing that says, "Oh, don't ask Jesus to be your driver, though he didn't have a driver's license." I'm just like, okay, like what? Why would you? Yeah, it's funny, haha. But it's like, okay, why? I almost like it's like almost where it's like, why put that out there? Like, let's put out something positive. Anyways, my old granniness comes in, and in comes the king of I don't give a fuck comes forward. Gotta love him. Gotta love him. He's forward. He's forthright. He knows. He's knowledgeable, and he's ready. He's ready for his sword. He's ready. His sword isn't up, not like his wife's. His sword is off to the side. He's ready for the battle. He is the warrior. He's going moment by moment. He knows what he has to do. He has his armor on. He knows his strength, and he's ready to step forward into what he needs to step forward into. And as he does that, ooh, the 9 of Pentacles. You can bring forth the prosperity and abundance. You can bring forth that of what you're growing. It might take a little while, but the lavishness and the beauty and all of that is there. It's there within this world. We just have to step into it. And we have to step into it every single day, moment by moment by moment by moment, because that's what brings us as being the warrior. And as we're as a warrior, the 8, we can walk away. We can walk away. I mean, our feet aren't tied, but we can walk away. The 8 of Swords has come up in a couple readings lately for people. And the 8 of Swords is feeling the inability to move forward due to a clouded perception. And this may be a strong indication that despite your fears or sense of helplessness, there's a positive solution available to you. There's something positive there. It's there. It's there. But we're afraid to walk forward in it. We're afraid to let go of the old crusty ties. We're afraid to let go of that old ego, right? Because we feel limited. We're fear-based thinking of being limited. We have to, oh my God, there's a fear base that's there. And how are you processing your energy and thoughts? It's where almost it's like, okay, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to release that. And in releasing that, I'm going to allow for what needs to come through. And how can I see through the obscurity around me? That's a piece. It's like I need there's the obscurity around me. I have to come back to my moment, knowing that I'm building my prosperity and abundance, knowing I have the knowledge to move forward and move forward in the direction that I want to move forward in. And that's the big piece, because so many times we get lost in what others want us to do or be or say. So there you guys go. Have a blessed one. If you are wanting a mini reading or you want me to pull 2 cards for you, definitely get a hold of me. I can do 2 cards for $80 and send you a videotape for 2 questions. So, or it probably ends up being 3 questions because, more comes in. But for just a small mini reading for $80. So sending you out so much love. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you and all that you say and all you be and all you do. Have a blessed day. Stand in your light. Stand in your strength, because you're stronger. You're stronger than you give yourself credit. Blessings, everyone.